Good to go.
I call to order the meeting. I call to order the meeting for the Historic District Commission of Topsham, and we have a roll call, please.
All right, Wayne Davis,
Present.
Andy Munsey,
Present.
Peter Davidson,
Present.
John Graham,
Yeah.
All right,
and Dominic Friedel is not here.
all right. Do we have everybody has the minutes? Do we have a motion to approve the minutes?
I make a motion to approve the minutes of the September 10th, is that correct? Yes, it's 7/10/2025 as written, and I think it was the second draft.
Okay,
I'll second that.
all in favor, say aye. Right? Can pass. All right, we are here for certificate of appropriateness application tax map U06 lot 39. Applicant seeks to install a second story rear addition with a, I'll never say that right, cantilevered deck and exterior entry roof. Who is here for on behalf of the applicant? Would that be you?
Scott Cohen, yes.
All right, Scott, why don't you tell us a little bit about what's going on?
What I'm doing over there is just trying to repair and build things the way they need to be. The construction of that building back after the fire, they didn't use 2x6 exterior walls, for instance. They only used 2x4. And the roof, they only use 2x6s. So I'm looking to stiffen it up. Give more insulation, more snow load. Things that needed to be removed over there had been damaged in the fire back in the 70s. When it had a fire there, and they replaced that whole most of that second floor was replaced. Where they stopped was what needs to be replaced. They had all bloom construction back then for that building. So the walls on what they left on the exterior walls only went halfway up on the second floor. That's all they had for lumber. And then they just, put another plate there and continued it, which wasn't very structurally sound or sufficient for insulation because it was all 2x4s. So what I want to do is cut that wall off even with the second floor and replace it with 2x6. And I've sistered a lot of the rafters up there that were from before 2x6. I sistered some scabbed on 2x8s beside it. They're 2 feet on center actually, 2x6. So it wasn't adequate. So I'm just making it better for Maine. We have a snow load.
And that's that. Okay. So in the back of the building, you're extending it out, putting a deck.
No,
Nope.
not extending it. The deck was there.
Deck's there.
There was a deck there before. And what I want to do is enclose part of it and recess part of the deck into that roof line. So part of it will be recessed in and then cantilever a section of that deck, removing the stairs that are there.
So you're extending the roof out to cover the deck.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
part of the deck. I mean, the exterior walls will come out and then it's actually 12 feet that deck that recesses in there.
So you're not changing the footprint,
Right.
No,
and there will be no more exterior stairs coming down the back.
no.
But where the stairs were will be now a 5-foot proposed deck.
Well, it's gonna be like 4'6". I said 5 because to cantilever that out there, there's a formula that you need to follow. So it'll probably be right around 4'6", but I just put 5 because that's what was there. The stairs came out 5 feet. But I probably won't come all the way out to that point. That's a
10-foot I'm just gonna call it shed addition on the back. That's gonna go away and become permanent.
Yes,
Part is gonna match the rest of the first floor,
yes.
and then you're gonna take off. Anybody can see this.
See how that,
This is what you're saying was replaced, this is what you're removing?
just that wall there, see that roof line's gonna stay. That roof line's gonna stay, but see how that, the gable end there, see how it's kind of crooked? It's all
This right
water
here?
damaged. Yeah, that section right there is all water damaged. See how it's got like it's 2 inches out of level right there, you can tell. And that's all water damaged because when they brought that roof line across, it didn't meet, so they just rolled the plywood up a couple inches. And it was pretty bad. And it's
So you're
all,
planning on rebuilding this back and extending it out?
yes, see where the deck is?
Yeah.
So the drawing, I have a drawing that shows it.
We have this, that's on the other side that doesn't.
Yeah, that is the other side. But,
This is this, right?
yeah, you can see it. See how level that is right there?
Yeah, I see it.
It's all,
But really, this is the section you're gonna rebuild.
that roof line's gonna stay.
This roof line's gonna stay.
What
That's gonna-
roof line are you talking about?
Here, I'm
And this
gonna
one,
pull up the elevation.
just extending this.
I'm so confused.
Yeah, that might help.
I'm gonna pull up the application so that we can,
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to point to
Yeah.
something.
Yep.
hold on just a second, let me get it pulled up and let me.
I can, pull it up and point
So the
out.
stairs are going
specific
away?
page. Stairs are gonna go.
So how do you get out of the second floor?
Those inside stairs that were there, I'm gonna utilize those.
Those are, so there's existing interior staircase.
Yes.
So currently there's 2 means of egress,
Oh.
you're getting rid of one.
No, there's only one means of egress in that building right now. I'm putting in
Which
another.
is the interior stair.
I'm putting in another one. I wanna put in, this other proposal that I have here is put in the second means of egress in the back there. But I've been talking to Tom about it. And it's kind of putting the cart before the horse. I'll show you what I have in mind, but
She's pulling it up
It's
right.
probably not applicable to this application, but
Yeah.
I was just curious.
Yeah,
this is where the other means of egress is. I'm gonna give you all, you guys all wanna see that. That's where I wanna put the other means of egress.
Yeah, so where's the other one?
In the front. On Main Street, there's only one in Main Street right now. I'm talking to Tom about this and I gotta go to get a variance because there's,
So can you get from the second floor to the, out to the front door?
no, there's a stairway back there by that egress door,
Right, but you shouldn't, you have 2 staircases?
just one.
So how do you get 2 means of egress with 1 staircase?
2 means of egress for the first floor.
The second floor?
second floor.
The second floor is, there's gonna be a
When you
slider.
eliminate the back, I think what you're saying, is when you eliminate the back staircase, the only means of egress off the second floor is inside.
Right, that's what
There
I'm
is a
saying,
second
like,
one.
to me, that's a red flag, like life safety, getting rid of an
Yeah,
egress.
I mean,
But
Well-
that's, I don't think that's our preview,
no, it's
Right,
not.
no, I agree.
so. We approve something and they make the building
Yeah.
non-conforming, that's not on us.
Right,
I will note that you have a suggested condition that this is, conditioned on receiving all other local state approvals, which would cover any building
Yeah.
and zoning, approvals, just so you guys know.
okay.
We did add that in because we knew there was a potential for a variance, just.
Yeah, no, there's gonna be another meeting because that back egress that I wanna put in is very close to the property line and the setback there for that is 10 feet. So I would need. But talking to Tom, he said, cause it's a second means of egress. He said we can put it there, but we just need to finalize. Well, then I asked, can I cover it? Because there needs to be a landing for that egress. So, you know, he said I could put a landing because, you know, those exterior doors open
Yeah.
out.
But none of that's our purview at this point.
Understood.
I think it will be later.
It may be, like,
Once I get the approval to put it with it at that property line and I need that variance.
Right.
And then he said, I will have to come to you for the roof that I want to put over it.
So right now, this application includes a 1-foot rain guard roof over that secondary egress.
Yeah, I wanted to talk further about that because that was before he told me I could do a landing,
Okay,
an egress landing.
yeah, you guys will have to move your
See, we hadn't talked about the egress landing because it's 35 inches from that.
Yeah, you know what, you can approve them
That
for what
platform.
is in the application, which is a 1 foot, which is drawn, you can see it right here, is a 1 foot rain guard right here. Which is considered an addition for building code, which is why it was included for this, application. You can approve for that. If you want to do something different than that, you'll just come back after you've gotten something, but if you
Sure.
wanna just do this, you'll be approved for that for the historic district.
Right, see, the reason I drew that like that is because he said I wouldn't need any kind of variance if I didn't exceed the exterior overhang there, which was a foot. So I was just gonna put a rain guard over the door, going out 1 foot to not exceed that exterior line. But then he said I could put in a landing. So I says, well, Tom, if I have a landing down there, I'd like to cover it, keep the snow and rain off. He says, well, you'll need approval from somebody else, not you guys. I'll be coming to you after the fact. Because once I get approved to put that landing in, he said I could do 44 inches, which is what the state guideline is to have a stairway. You gotta have to have access 44 inches inside your stairway for fire code. That's why he said that I could put a 44-inch landing out there. I said, but if you look at the code, it says you need a 4-foot landing at the top and bottom of your stairways in that same code. So then he says, okay, well, you can do the 48-inch one. But what I would like to do, because this is a Greek revivalist architecture, I wanna bring that back and put columns. That's why I gave you a little sketch there, but that's gonna be another meeting.
Yeah.
That, you know, I don't wanna get bogged down in that right now, but, you know, I just thought I'd mention it because that rain guard will change if I can cover that land.
So can you describe the rain guard a little bit more to me, because I'm not sure, I see it in the side view, I've got a foot, but what does it look like in the front view, what is it?
I have a couple of drawings there, see, because he told me that I could not go past the exterior foot overhang.
Right.
I just drew it that small. Keep going, and I got a couple of, if you go a little further, there's a couple of example drawings that I had there. Where are they? Oh, different types of roof lines over that. It's page 27 and 28 in there. There's a couple of examples of different, I call them rain guards.
The roof, right?
Well, I guess you could call it that, but I was calling it a rain guard because I only wanted to keep the rain off the door. So it didn't have to go past the 1 foot overhang. But where he said I can do the landing, I want to cover it. I want to cover that landing.
Do you want the rain guard to be like
Big.
44 to 48 inches long?
And I want to talk bigger because you have to have 44 inches clearance in your stairway.
Right.
Now, although you need a 48-inch landing, if you read that, in that same state fire marshal guidance, you gotta have 44 inches clearance, then you gotta come up to a 48-inch landing. So in order to have a 48-inch landing and have, that 44-inch clearance for railings, it's gotta be wider. It's gotta be wider than 44 inches. Because if I need 44 inches clearance just for the stairs, that's where that comes from. You have to have 44 inches, finish on your stair clearance.
Handrails are allowed to project into that, so it's not 44 inches clear, but it's with the stair. Yeah.
But so I would have looked to have something bigger, and because of it being, reading all the history of this building, it's built as a Greek revivalist architecture. And that's what it's built as. And if you look at any of that architecture, it has columns. They're known for their columns. Greek architecture is, so I wanted to put columns on that entrance, on that roof. So that would mean the landing would have to be a little bit bigger, another foot, so that I'd have room for those columns.
Well, we already been talking about that.
So we're approving
A 1 foot.
a 1 foot extension and it's going to look kind of like that
Yes,
with like brackets back to the building.
yes. That's what I was,
And that is on the north,
that's on the north side, yes.
or kind of, I mean, is that not the building above it? Goes down
There's
It's this
Thompson Street here, and it's on fast the other side of the building.
behind the chair, behind the.
Yes,
building.
in behind, in by the parking lot.
there.
It's behind, it's in at the parking lot, it's access to that back parking lot, actually. So that's why, that's positioned, that's why it's positioned where it is, because there's a wall at that 10-foot section. So I put a vestibule right there, it's 8 feet, 4 feet by 8 feet, just inside that door. And there's a little, I have a little bit of clearance, but I got 2 feet on this side, 3 feet on this side, and then I got a 7030 door and I'm putting in there. So, it's pretty close to where it needs to be, but my variance is gonna need to be to go to the property line. But it would have to be the overhang, so I wanted the deck to go to that pin. And then the overhang won't go past that pin. That was what I wanted to do, and I wanted to recess the stairs into the deck a little bit. Because I need to make up 35 inches. And that's 5 treads, so that's 5 feet. Because we need 12-inch treads there, so I was gonna, I thought originally about going all the way around the whole platform, stairs. But that would push that thing 5 feet this way even further. So it would be, it would be too big. So I might eliminate the stairs on this side and just put them against the building. I wanna put them against the building over there. But I want enough room so that I can put them columns in. I wanna put a column on both sides of the stairway. And make it look like that Greek revival architecture, which is what the building was built as, and there's none of those features in it anymore. I don't know if it's from the fire or what it is, but I was gonna try to bring some of them back.
Any more questions?
Back to. You want on the Thompson Lane side, you wanna eliminate the dormer on that back section? And drop an indented deck there?
I want to see, I got that drawn right there. It shows it, see how that roof line goes across on the second floor there? That goes, yeah, that stops right there. And that's still that's 4 feet, that dormer on the far right, just like it was on this side. I'm just moving it down to the end of the building. So I'm having that same, it'll look exactly the same, except it'll be moved.
You're
down.
extending the dormer 4 feet.
I'm extending it down to the edge of the building, 10 feet. It is, it's 10 feet actually. But I'm
Is that gonna be a deck there? People gonna be hanging out and they're gonna be railing across there, or is that just roof line indented?
no, there's gonna be a railing around that deck. So for sure.
There'll be, this is a door. This is railing here,
No, that's all wall.
this is all wall.
Oh, he's talking, yeah, you're talking about taking this whole thing. And
Yes.
pushing it out 10 feet,
Yes. And recessing the deck in.
whatever's left over, what would be the deck?
There's something confused about the recess deck. The recess
Yeah.
deck's on the rear of the building or on the Thompson Lane side?
See right here, no, it's on this side.
It's on the rear of the building.
Yes,
On Green Street.
on Green Street. All that's on Green Street.
I don't know, you're talking out of turn, but you guys are aware that this is essentially already done, this work is done. What he's describing is that.
Give us 1 second for
Yeah.
it.
We can't open for public comment until we get it.
But I mean, we can see what he's describing.
Mhm.
Okay, so that's on the rear side.
See, this is gonna recess in here 2 feet. So, and then the cantilever, it's gonna cantilever out 4, so this deck is actually 6 feet wide. And
So when you say recess, just the roof line's coming over it.
yes,
Okay.
I kept it, I kept the whole deck is there still. The whole deck is still there. And it's pitched away from the building so that I can cantilever that 4 feet out. Without having, any supports down below. And as the gentleman mentioned, the work is done, because when I was here before talking with Julie, we talked to her about it in her office, and I didn't realize that we needed, approval from that side of the building. We thought it was only Main Street. And I explained to her what I was gonna do, but, and then I did it, actually. And, I don't know, maybe this gentleman,
We'll let him go,
Noticed
we'll let him
it.
speak, just, any more questions?
I don't think so.
Alright. Now we can open it up for public comment.
I didn't mean to say that in some sort
No,
of
that's alright.
golden
You
way.
just- Yeah.
I am
and-
Pete Rosenberg, I'm the neighbor, I live across the alley from the project here, what used to be Michelle's. I didn't mean to
No, that's fine.
present that as anything other than, I mean, it is there, we can see it, if it's confusing what he's describing, you can just drive down there and look at it, it's already been built. I am here to object to it on, aesthetic grounds. I think that the giant arch is not in keeping with the sort of character of the neighborhood. I think that it does sort of extend the overall feature by pushing the cantilever deck out. But I guess I also wanted to come and share an experience that I had with this gentleman that is not directly germane to the application at issue. But my wife wanted me to come and share an experience that I had, where we are here to address a request for some exceptions to the way that we would typically expect the community to experience. I think that we should anticipate that we're getting that from folks who are good neighbors and good members of the community. I've had one and only one experience with this gentleman. It was the singular most obnoxious experience I've had in the state of Maine, maybe in my life. I parked my car in his parking lot, not realizing even that the building had been sold. He parked me in with his truck, and when I asked him if I could move and apologize, he verbally assaulted me using multiple cuss words, used his body to intimidate me, told me he didn't care that I was his neighbor, and told me to F right off. I had to call the police. The police had to call for backup, and it took almost an hour for me to extricate my car from the parking lot, which I had parked there, not even realizing that Jimmy didn't still own the building. I was mowing my lawn. My driveway was full. It was just an easy thing to do. A month later, I saw another person have the same exact experience. I was getting my mail. He said to me, "What's up?" I said, "You might as well just call the police, because that guy is the biggest jerk I have ever met in my life." So I'm of no particular opposition to the improvement of the building. He's done a remarkable job of straightening it. I think that it's great that somebody is reviving that building instead of demolishing it. I'm not sure that the back is in compliance. It's certainly not in terms of what we would expect from a good neighbor, to make sure that the I's were dotted and the T's were crossed. But on behalf of my wife and I, in addition to our concerns that it's non-conforming, expands the footprint and creates this sort of arched vestibule, which seems sort of out of character with the neighborhood. I don't think that, at least from my family's perspective, there is any reason on earth why this gentleman should have any accommodation from our community under any circumstances. Like I said, it is absolutely the single most offensive experience I've had in the state of Maine. Cannot imagine why a new neighbor would want to treat another neighbor that way. And I'm here to make sure that you understand, sir, that your behavior has consequences, even if they are only that other people get to hear about how you behave. Shame on you. That was the worst thing that I have experienced. I'm not gonna just sit at home and leave it be. Don't think he's in compliance, think that it's obnoxious that he did it without asking, and here we are, that's all I have to say.
Any other comments?
Yeah, I had one. You usually just park in other people's driveway.
I usually did park in that driveway, yes, I did.
Does he do a driveway?
It
Do you have
was Jimmy's
permission to
driveway.
back?
It was Jimmy's driveway. I didn't know you had bought the building. It has signs in it that say Jimmy Misha, it says Misha's parking. I parked there for
No,
a
it says
year.
no parking.
It says Misha's.
Okay.
And I think that
Yeah,
anybody
okay,
on
do you
this
have any
panel
comments relative
does not need to be.
Anyway, what happened?
And I don't think
Seems
anybody
like-
here needs to be in an argument with one of us about whether Jimmy Misha let people park in his parking lot.
Gentlemen,
It's my.
Shame on you.
gentlemen. Our purview is not over parking.
Understood, and I'm not here to.
I know, but what happened was,
It
this
doesn't
gentleman kept parking in my parking lot over there.
Parked there once.
Him and everybody.
My comments have been recorded, and I think that you have my position. I respect the committee and I'll leave you to your decision.
Thank you.
There was one more thing that I wanna add. And I wasn't even gonna add it because this is just sort of neighborhood gossip. But under the circumstances, I will. It's my understanding that in addition to creating this balcony, he intends to create for him a water view. I understand that he has been in contact with my neighbors in an effort to determine whether he can take down the tops of their trees or do other work that may give him a view from the back of that building to the river. I submit that for your consideration. I have it only on hearsay. I don't present that as anything that I particularly know to be the case. There are, I'm sure, all sorts of waterfront obligations that would need to be met. But given that this is somebody who doesn't particularly respect his neighbors or his community, I don't know that those are things that we could expect not to have happen without them simply being done. And those are my comments.
Well, I've been a Maine arborist for 40 years, so I've cut numerous trees. And, you know, what this guy's talking about, who knows? He's obviously a little disgruntled. But the neighbor contacted me about those trees, as a matter of fact. He came over to meet John, the guy that lives on Green Street. But it has nothing to do
None
with.
of this is relevant. You would have to go through all the normal.
No, I know all about that.
Yeah, so I
Yeah,
mean,
like I said.
we're only here to have comments about, so if you have anything else you wanna add to that, about the application? Other than what you've already shared with us.
No, I mean, if you have any other questions about it.
Do you guys have any
I
other
can-
questions before
I
we
can-
close?
No, we should just do our.
Okay, so the public comment is closed. Discussion,
I would like to bring up the arch, because I think it's a very good point. We hadn't talked about it yet before. I don't know that it's appropriate and to this building style either. But I am curious to see what this looks like today. I mean, I don't know if, I don't feel comfortable approving based on these drawings without actually seeing if it's already built. Let's see what it looks like.
Well, I have here
And we're closed to.
just
oh, sir.
this is a piece of Greek revival architecture that
Yeah,
shows.
but
the
yeah, that
We're
record's probably,
closed with
yeah.
that thing. So. I mean, my opinion is very similar. We went through. At least, I think it was 2 times. The first time he came to reset the front of the building, which. Driving by, I've not seen completed yet. And it just seems to me like. Although I'm not against some of this stuff, I just don't have a good enough picture of what it is.
Right.
And the whole, oh, now we're gonna add some staircases down this side and another arch and arches. One of the things that the historical code or thing says is we shouldn't be in trying to make it look old when it's not, like we shouldn't be matching. You know, if it's gonna be a new addition, it should look like a new addition. Which I'm fine with, it's a building that needs thing, but I just don't have a clear idea from these. What actually we're approving.
Well, it's the, if I understand it correctly, we're approving something that's already been done. Is that not true? I mean, I get from the gentleman's comment, it's already been done, this work. Is that true?
I haven't been back.
What I speaking with Tom, we had talked about an amendment to the application also. That was something that we talked about because Julie and I talked about this immensely in her office. I spent 2 hours in her office going through this. And back then, you guys were, the reason we were in there was for the sides of the building.
Right.
And then after the meetings, it came down that you didn't at that time have the purview for those sections. You know, you didn't need to make that decision. And it all came down to, what we were gonna use for siding. I was gonna just match what was there, because all the buildings around that have vinyl siding.
Right.
Every building that's around that building has vinyl siding. One on both sides and the one across the street, it's all vinyl. And even the one down the street, they're all vinyl right in there. But we determined that you guys wanted me to use wood in the front. So because you wanted me to use wood in the front of that building, I decided to use LP siding, which is a product nowadays that is guaranteed for 50 years. The reason I didn't want to use any of that wood and paint is because I didn't want to have to paint. And I didn't want to have to deal with rot like the building is now. So this new LP siding is guaranteed for 15 years on the paint, and then it won't rot for 50. So it's the material is so much better now than it was.
Right, but if I understand what you're saying, is you don't understand, because I listening to this man talk, it sounds like this is all done. Is this done? Is this work been done already?
I've driven past it and from the road I could see tarps or ice and water shield or something on the roof from there, so I could tell something was happening out there, but I can't see it from the road.
Have you done this?
That is built. That round section is built.
So if
I-
so what you're coming to us for is basically it.
To put the roof on. He stopped me from putting the roof because I'm putting new roof structure there. It was 2x6 on that section, so I took it out. I'm gonna replace it with 2x8. And I already did on one side. I removed the 2x4 wall that was. What it was, because it was balloon construction, it was bowed out like 3 inches. So I cut it off. I cut 3 feet of that wall off. And then I made it 2x6 up to the rafters, which it was sistered together. It was all 2x4 and all out of whack.
So you're here for a certificate of appropriateness for the work that's already been done.
I mean, I also.
If we don't agree with what you're proposing, then I guess you might have to do something else. I don't know how that
I mean,
works.
this Topsham Lane. Do we have preview over the back? Do we made a decision on that?
Well, this is a non-contributing property. Does that have a?
I mean, but there's Main Street, we can see all that,
Yeah.
and then there's Green Street, and there's Topsham Lane in there, that is a public right of way.
There's a building between my building and Green
In
Street.
Green Street, there's another building
Oh,
back
there's
there.
another building back there.
Right,
Blocks
there's
that
a
whole
police
section.
department, then
Yeah.
see that, but I mean, you could make an argument, I think, that we don't have purview over the back of the building.
Oh, yeah.
And then the question is, what are we actually approving here? Is it just the roof line change that we can see?
So
The structure of the roofing in the.
when we received this application, we checked to see if you could see the back of the building from Green Street, because Thompson Lane is disputed. To me, you can see this from Green Street.
You can see this from Green
Yeah,
Street.
that's what I saw when I checked it, and the non-contributing doesn't have the same standards that a contributing does. The 2218F is what you need to look at. The reason this is being asked to be reviewed is not because like siding has changed, because it's an addition to the building. So that's why your memo looks the way that it does, and it just included what it does, but just because something is built doesn't mean that you have to approve a certificate of appropriateness.
I would like to see photographs of what's there now as part of the application in order to determine if it's appropriate.
I mean, I kinda have to agree with that. I don't, I mean, if we can see it from Green Street. like, it probably is not appropriate to have a big arched, modern feeling window up there. I mean, if it fit more of an old back and was cantilevered out and set in and had a triangle feel and didn't stick out, I would say it probably did blend in with the neighborhood. But
So you'd wanna see a revised application with pictures and.
I mean, I'm struggling to see what is there, what he's trying to get through already, and I struggle with this one thing, if it's actually already built, like, I don't quite see why we don't have some kind of a picture showing what is there. I'm not trying to slap the wrist, but I'm like,
Well, I have pictures of what's
why
there.
that was not included if it was already there.
I traced it.
Amendment.
That picture with the where it's round, I took a picture of it. And then I just traced exactly what was there, so it's in that proportion. That's exactly what's there.
You have that picture?
I have it on my phone, I don't have it with me. I just have it on my phone, but
It's on your phone right there?
yes,
Do we think, is that okay for us to look at?
Is it part of the application materials that we posted?
Yeah, I think it needs to be part of the
Yeah.
application.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
again, not to slow this down, but it sounds like it's already there.
Yeah.
If our job is to determine if it's appropriate, certificate of appropriateness. I don't feel like I have,
Well, I'm not supposed to look at it.
I don't
It's not
feel
what the application
comfortable
gives.
with the materials that have been submitted to be able to vote on.
So, we can table this. And ask that the town planner and applicant clarify, get modern pictures and clarify what exactly is. I mean, do we have specific questions we should ask, or should we just table it and say we need more information to make it?
I would specify that I would like to see photos from different angles. Of the back, you know,
Do you wanna make a motion, Andy, or do you want me to?
you can.
Okay. Can you just list out
Let's make sure we put everything in the key meetings.
photos?
Photos of the existing construction from various viewpoints.
Definitely from the back, from different sides of the back.
I think they're in there.
Including one from Green Street.
Aren't they in that application?
We did not.
If you look, it shows, I have a picture from every street and a drawing.
Yes, but they're not, they're of the old building, not of what's changed.
Yeah, we need to see it as it
We want to
stands
see
right now.
existing now.
You don't have a picture in here of as it stands now, and if you do, please bring it up, because I didn't see
Sorry, I'm not seeing one.
either of us, and that's fine. What else? Keep going.
That's all I have.
And then do we want to? This feels choppy to me, as we had a couple meetings before where we did the front and now we're getting to the back. And I'm not against designing as somebody goes through a building, but it's like we approved this and then later they
Right.
come and wanna put a staircase on the side.
Well, and then also, the other thing too, is that he's got the doorway out back and you're getting 1 foot cover now. Wouldn't it be better to get the variance that he needs for the whole platform if we're gonna do all that?
Well, that's what I'm trying to
Exactly.
say, it's like,
I mean, because
I
you're gonna
would
have to come back a second time.
He told me I could do 4 feet. He said I could put a 4 foot.
Right.
You know, egress landing out there. After I talked to him about,
Right.
you know, the guidelines are 44-inch clearance, but a 4 foot landing. And he says, okay, you can do a 4 foot landing. I said, okay, well, can I cover it?
Well, I think the application should include what you really want to do with that side rain guard roof. And stairs.
Yeah,
And my understanding from Tom is that if you want to do more than the 1 foot cover, that's what you need the variance for, because the 1 foot keeps it from being an addition.
Right.
And you're allowed to do the 4 feet landing for building code life safety, but a 4 foot cover would require variance. That's my understanding. I'm not.
Yeah,
so
so
the
how-
variance would come from
Zoning board of appeals.
zoning board of appeals.
Yes,
To put a cover on, to put
Right.
a roof over to keep
Right.
the ice and water shield, like the neighbor has over there, he's got his deck over there with a roof over it. The one right beside
Right,
it.
but what we're saying is, you're gonna do several other things. Why not just do it all at once, get it all done?
That's why we were trying to put the cat before the horse here a little
Yeah.
bit, that, I know, but.
But that's the problem is, we don't, the back's already been worked on. So it's not like we're holding up. Construction on the back, is that my understanding? Or
Well, what about my roof? Can I finish the roof?
That
It's
is,
up to Tom.
it's up to Tom, not us. I guess we're confused as to why Tom stopped the roof.
because it's an addition.
They're putting it, he's not just extending the roof, he's putting the addition over that additional 10 feet, which, and that's where the arch is and where.
Right.
Covering the deck. Covering the deck is what I,
So is,
Considered an addition for.
okay, is Patty, who, are we on the, is somebody taking notes?
We're being recorded right now.
Patty will take the notes.
Patty will take the notes, but if you guys are gonna make a separate motion, we'll try to get it done as well as I can too.
Okay, so I'm gonna try to work through this, but I may need to read it back if that's okay.
Go for it.
Right,
Okay, so I make a motion that the Historical Commission tables the certificate of appropriateness for an exterior rear addition, cantilever deck and rain guard for the structure located at 21 Main Street as outlined in the application. Period. The board requests the addition of existing photos from different angles of the rear of the building as it exists today, including from the view on Green Street.
Yeah.
That sounds complete to me, is there more?
There would be more if I can,
Mhm.
I'm just waiting for. The board also requests that the complete exterior picture be presented.
Pause.
Yep.
You guys only have purview over additions and the front facade, so if it's not an addition, isn't.
So it does, if it's not on a preview, I don't need it, but
Mhm.
if the rain guard, is the rain guard in up?
It's an
Pause.
addition, yeah, that's.
So if the rain guard's in a position and he makes it 4 feet and we gotta approve that,
Mhm.
I would like to approve that. I'd like to have someone say, if I can see that, so we can approve it pending the zoning board of appeals. So we can say, as long as the zoning board of appeals approves it, we've already approved
Agreed.
this picture, then he can go to the zoning board of appeals and we don't need to get back.
You want him to make a picture of what it's all gonna look like when it's done.
So ideally, that's what I'd like, and I don't know how the best way to say that is.
So you want, I just wanna make sure I understand this correctly, you want,
It's called the rain guard, the expanded rain guard, so it fits the board. We can approve it and say, we're okay with this as long as the zoning board of appeals does that in our next meeting.
see, what I wanna do with them is determine what I can put for a landing. And once I have the size of the landing that I can do, and I also wanna recess the stairs in to the deck also. I don't wanna have, you know, I
So
wanna,
maybe this goes to the board of appeals first and then comes back to us.
I think that's what it needs to, that's what it needs to do.
What I don't wanna do is keep chopping through this, where,
Right.
cause it if my picture of Green Street is this, and then suddenly it is this here. That affects my picture of what the rear of the building.
right,
That's why I didn't draw
Like, I
that
need
on
to
there,
see-
just talking to Tom, I would have needed a variance to draw it past that foot.
but I think what he's saying too is we can. You can draw the pictures, get them all approved, get them approved by us, but we can also approve a lesser. Like if he can't get the 4-foot landing and the covering and the columns. and he still just wants the rain guard gutter, we can still do that approval. As well, but we don't even have the picture of what you want sitting there with measurements and to say
See,
yes.
'cause that's why I didn't know, I don't know the
Yeah.
size yet.
Yeah,
So I can't draw that size. I wanna go 8 feet with that landing, cause I wanna recess 3 stairs in.
yeah,
I want 3 of them to be recessed into the deck. So that, you know, they're covered from snow and ice.
Mm.
And I wanted that 4 foot landing outside the
So
door.
maybe it does have to go to zoning before it goes to us.
If it's both things, if you want to just do the second story deck without it, you can, if you want to.
No, I would rather do the whole thing at once.
Yeah, it makes more sense to do it once, so you're not having to drag your butt back here 7 different times. I mean,
The only holdup I had was winter's coming.
Yeah,
Winter's coming, and that, I don't wanna have to winterize that building. I need to get the roof on. I need to get a roof on. I need to close it in.
Well, you-
That's my only concern.
okay, well,
Maybe you could add something that if he wishes to receive approval for the rain guard, it has a total exterior picture, if he wants to remove it, that's his choice. It says an applicant, but that's his choice.
I think you should come to us with the rain guard as you want to build it. And then
we don't need exactly.
we can approve that pending approval from the zoning board of
Right.
appeals. If zoning board of appeals does not approve it, then you'll have to come back to us with a revised design. We can approve that.
See, they already approved a 4 foot landing there.
Right.
They've already approved that, Tom did. He says you can do this without getting the variance. But I wanna recess the stairs in.
Right, we
And then I
understand
wanna
that.
cover them, so it just
We just need
expands
to
it a
see
little.
it on a drawing.
So then I know, but that, I can't draw it unless I have approval from them. They said I could only go this, and if I'm recessing it, then I
We
wanna
don't
cover
need measurements, though, do we?
the whole thing.
Overall dimensions, yes.
I mean, that's a decision you have to make, whether you wanna do, which one you wanna do first, you wanna take a chance and do us and go to them and say, I've got approval from historical for this.
He
And
said,
they say no.
what Tom said is if I could get the approval from you guys, but that doesn't mean it's good, if it
Right, that's
doesn't
what
meet.
we're saying, that we can approve something.
But it would
pending
be
them.
okay, as long as it met the, you know, the guidelines from.
They say you gotta make something, gotta chop something off, you then gotta come back to us and get a reapproval on your new
Well,
design.
that's a risky case, so.
See, what the problem is there is a 10 foot setback from there, and I'm 18 inches from the property line there.
But the real issue, let's hold off on the rain guard and it's the roof. It's the back that we need to see. That's not gonna change in this moment, right?
No, it sounds like he's
Yeah.
already put it 10 feet out, and now he just needs approval for it, but
We need to see it.
I'd like to see it, and I don't know if I love that. If I can see that from Green Street, I think that doesn't really look like something that may not be appropriate.
Can I give you guys this?
Do we have that?
No. You have a small
Wait,
picture.
wait,
I don't think we
Yeah,
can,
check.
we have to.
If it wasn't part of the application, we can't consider it.
Yeah, we have.
This shows Greek revival architecture.
Yep, and that's, we're familiar with Greek time, but if it's not part of the application, we can't.
Okay.
Look at it.
I got it is part of the application. There's a small picture that I have of it, and this is the bigger picture, so you could have this.
Right, but
And
you're
it's
still,
great.
the issue is still the back of the building. I don't think the landing you're talking about, or the rain.
That's not the rain garden stuff, what he's talking about.
Yeah.
I have a picture of this, a small picture of this in the, I'll show.
What page?
I'll find the page, and then this is just a blown up picture of it, so it is in the application. Let me find it.
I think that's what we're.
Oh, yeah. You get some idea, the little one.
Yeah, see that? This is just a bigger, this is this picture of it. So is it all right for you to give that then? So that shows that kind of architecture. See that
Yeah.
round section?
Mhm.
This was America's first architecture. Back when. Well, I mean, you can read the literature on this, it says, you know, that it says that exact thing. It was America's first architectural style. And it has that round section. I mean, carpenters don't do that because it's not easy to build. It's not easy to do that. That's why you don't see a lot of that stuff. And the expense, those columns, you know, nobody goes to that expense anymore, but I'm willing to go to that expense.
I don't think the arch is a defining characteristic of the Greek Revival architecture. I think you may find it on some houses and buildings like this, but I don't think it's a defining characteristic of that style.
No, but it is a characteristic, not a defining characteristic, but it is a characteristic. So, I mean, just like those columns, you know, those are a characteristic of Greek architectural, Greek revival architectural. The columns and the arch. It's not the flat roof. All right, it's, you know, it's not the railings. It's something, architecture, like the columns and the arch. That's what gives it the classification of an architecture, because other than that, it doesn't have a classification. It's just, you know, something simple.
Just to jump back. Can you read what you had for my motion back to me,
Yeah.
please?
I make a motion that the Historic District Commission table the certificate of appropriateness application. Okay, I'm sorry, I did a little shorthand there, John, and I lost it.
So, first part is,
It basically, I think it's regarding.
the first part is almost dead, the draft motion,
Mhm.
down to. Didn't leave the deck, rain god, so if you wanna look, and get up real quick.
Okay, yes, there we go. Yep,
So you can
yep, I
put
got
it
it.
down and pretty
Yep,
much
yep, yep.
copy that down.
Okay, so down to the, funny, as outlined in the application,
Application,
great,
yeah.
thank you. And then at that point, you said the board requests the addition of existing photos from different angles from the building as they exist today, including from the view on Green Street. And then we got interrupted, you started to say the board also requested the complete exterior picture, and then we got into a clarifying conversation.
So. Do we wanna add another sentence that says? We wanna see. The rain god. Fully developed. In the same time, or do we just wanna leave that off and assume that if he wants the, you know. If he wants the rain god done, he needs to bring a fully developed thing, or he's gonna come back to us at another point.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
I guess the way to word that would be. The board requests that the revised application include. The rain guard on the side of that, west,
North.
north side. As proposed with, overall dimensions of the deck and the roof.
Just with overall dimensions, period.
Yeah,
And I think to clarifying right now, without putting in writing, is. Either. Come to us with the proposal you wanna get approved, or leave it out and come to us at another time. And if you wanna just get the roof thing structured, let's just deal with the roof thing, get that done, and
Which
then
is the pictures.
deal with the side on the back north, which is probably. May not be, you know, I'd have to look at that closer to see if you can even see that.
You can see it from Main Street.
On Main Street, okay. That would be the thing. And. Over. Trying to. Over stylize. Historically is not appropriate. Like. It's not. Because it might have been once Greek revival architecture doesn't mean you should try to recreate it as a Greek revival architecture. It still needs to blend in and fit the neighborhood and not feel like it's too modern and call Greek revival architecture. That makes sense.
Agreed.
Okay. Try us one more time reading that back.
Yes, thank you for the clarifying earlier. I make a motion that the Historic District Commission table the certificate of appropriateness for the exterior rear addition, cantilever deck, and rain guard for the structure located at 21 Main Street as outlined in the application. The board requests the addition of existing photos from different angles from the building as they exist today, including from the view on Green Street. The board requests that the revised application include the rain guard on the north side as proposed with overall dimensions.
I make a motion as just read.
Yep,
I'll second it.
all in favor? Aye. Motion is passed, so.
I don't know about you guys' schedule, but if it really is
Yeah,
an emergency, I do not
Yeah.
mind. We need enough notice, but I
Yeah.
do not mind having back in.
yeah,
You know,
I would
we're not trying to be
appreciate that.
hard.
I'm trying to get the roof on, cause.
Yeah.
nope, we
Winter
got
is
you.
coming.
Yeah, no, I get you, and if I was in the same position too, so I'm not against trying to reach out, if you
Yeah.
can get everything together quickly and they can get us all in a meeting before next.
I have all the photos.
Yeah, you just they gotta put it through the whole town process, so it's legal, which means it's gotta be out there, so the comments can come in.
Yep.
Yep.
And yeah. We have
Yeah.
a couple other things on the agenda, if I.
We have some workshop items.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you would adjourn to
Does
workshop.
anybody have any other business before the board? Alright, well, the meeting, and I will adjourn the meeting,
I move that we adjourn the meeting.
I'll second that.
Adjourn.
all in favor? All in
We're
favor?
going
Are you
to,
guys adjourning to workshop or?
Adjourning to,
Adjourning to workshop.
yeah, yes,
On to the-
you second that,
I second that.
all in favor? Aye. Alright. So,
Okay, so I'll give
Yeah,
my
that's the
Instagram
And workshop, or you don't have to.
I
Yeah,
will,
as soon as you get me the stuff that needs that, we'll reach out to them about scheduling it and,
Yeah.
gotta get you through.
I'm pretty flexible.
And if you wanna drop that side green gutter for now, that's not,
Yeah,
because that's just gonna bog us down, like, just drop it and bring it back once you figure out.
let's do that. We'll drop it right now, because if you approve it for what's, the 1 foot overhang, well, but you want sizes.
Just wanna size this, so I mean.
I can't draw a size.
I'm gonna-
So,
I mean, we're not gonna be so hard, if you come back with a 1 foot overhang, that's all you can do, we'll figure it out. Well,
I don't wanna hold up,
you gotta get the roof on.
I gotta
get the roof on.
so,
So, and that's what I said to Tom, I says, I'm not really in a big hurry for this, Tom, anyway, because, it's putting the cart before the horse, I gotta go
yeah,
and get the variance, because he said I already have it because of the egress.
Yeah.
But I just need to get the size.
okay, perfect,
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time,
thank you.
and I will be in touch with you, Scott, very
Yes.
soon.
Yep, just
Right.
send me the stuff.
All right, thank you, gentlemen.
That's the most part of, that's a long time.
Just as an FYI, there's a policy that all workshops are recorded, so you'll still be recorded during the workshop.
Oh. Hi.
Okay, so I'm just trying to get myself organized here real quick, we are talking about. You have this, Peter, you know what we're talking about?
I sort of didn't use this hard, but. So,
Well,
no. So we'll let,
You have the agenda.
I have the agenda.
Yeah, okay, great.
so yeah, so the review certified the local government.
And I can-
review.
I can introduce these, that's what we normally do.
Why don't you do that?
Yeah, so there's 2 workshop items here, the first is to review the certified local government 4-year review by the Maine Historic Preservation Commission. John had requested a workshop so you guys could discuss this, so I don't really have anything for you, I open it to you to discuss it.
They sent a letter in that way,
Yes.
4G.
I did see that.
To the government, so
Oh, yeah,
We're
it's
supposed to
not-
do
it's
certain
not like
things.
money.
Sorry, what?
we're supposed to do certain things to maintain
Mhm.
status as a historical community board.
Yeah.
It's been years, I've gone to a couple of the state workshops, I
Mhm.
don't know if anybody has recently.
Yeah,
I think we're supposed to do that.
Yeah.
I think the last one usually was in September, so we're going to miss this year's.
Yeah.
If I can just do, I really don't wanna I don't know how strict they are here, but if we do need a member to go,
Mhm.
can we? Get the town to remind us next year that we need to
Yeah.
get 2 members to go to the state?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Education?
I thought that it might be good if I reached out to, it's Megan that signed that, right? Yeah. Megan. If I reached out to Megan, and just tried to get a, a feel on what they're looking for from us beyond what's in this letter, she can provide any
Yeah.
resources. And yes, if there is a requirement that we are not needing to send people to meetings, we can put that in the calendar.
It was
and
like,
send out
I
reminders.
remember when I first started, like once every 3 weeks.
There's one,
Somebody had to
we
go
went
train.
to, I've been to a couple, we had
Yeah.
one in we held
Yeah.
one in Topsham
Right,
once.
church,
we did
yeah.
One,
I was.
and I doubt it's that, but it's just some. Bureaucracy we have to jump through, but we should keep.
Yep.
When we are aboard, we should, the town kind of has directed us to. Be on top of that, so we probably should just make sure if there is something we do, I'm sure if we are behind, they'll let us give some time to do it, but if we can just ask the town. Planners to verify that.
Yep.
Is,
Sounds good. That is on that issue.
Want to discuss what this letter can do?
I was interested in the part about. Possibly funds being available for projects such
Yeah.
as, an updated survey.
so in the past, we've used those funds for all the little signs.
Yep.
The directive signs around.
Yep.
We've applied for grants and got them. For those signs work.
That we did.
We have also discussed about widening
The historic district.
historical district, or at least reviews of historical districts. It is quite a part of it, either we have to hire a firm or somebody
Yeah.
to do that and find out what it's gonna cost and then go through the whole, apply for the grant and do that. It is a fair amount of work that falls on the town staff. To do anything, like at least to get it to the.
Yep.
To the stage, so that does depend on what the town staff has for available time. Which somewhere I thought I read it, sounded like they were quite busy.
Are you busy? Oh, no.
So. I think it may make sense to do. A workshop again later in the year, or at least talk amongst ourselves about what specific areas we think. Make sense. I mean, do we wanna go up Winter Street? Do
Well, we did
want-
talk about putting those dated signs too, built on.
Right, on houses, yeah, we've talked about doing some different signage, there's more things we could do, it really is.
Mhm.
A town, but it's also how much time we want, I mean, do we wanna spend another couple hours a month in meetings like this? Brainstorming and working and coming up with stuff, we can do that. But it's, do you wanna lead a project of doing stuff on, do we want to survey Summer Street? And do that whole stretch on Summer Street and then go talk to the neighbors and see if they want to. I mean.
I will just add in, this is not something I think I talked to you guys about a whole lot because it's not something that impacts the boards that just review things as much, but. A project of that magnitude would require a committee partnership project form to be submitted to my office for us to review, and then it would go to the select board for approval. I'm not saying it's all that much different than the existing process, it just kind of formalizes it, but because I probably didn't talk to you about it as much, because you guys do tend to just review things as they come in, I just wanted you to be aware as we are discussing this.
So we wouldn't need to apply for, let the select board know, sounds like they would have to say yes, so. No, they don't want us doing it. So it's really up to us, I mean, we could take it as far as we have time to do it and try to push it, or we can say.
The last time I looked at the survey, it was a booklet. Maybe like 100 pages maybe, all black and white photographs that was done probably 25 years ago.
The survey is from 2010. That's
20
the-
all right.
Yeah,
I was way off.
great,
15
but
years ago.
you know, it's a little better than 25.
But I mean, I feel like, you know, we ought to be at least have color photos of our
So
building.
you may be thinking, but we also have this, I mean, there's that walking tour, which is really not the survey, it's just a walking tour that's
Yeah.
slightly different than what the survey is. The survey is actually somebody went around and like
Right,
wrote down every
exactly.
thing that's not really. I'm not saying it's not available to the public, because everything's public in town, but it's not like it's written in the like a booklet, I don't believe.
Easily accessible.
I just feel like we should have a digital version of the survey available, you know, from the website that has color photos. So it's more easy to find, because I don't even know where my copy went, so I have no way to access that
Yeah,
information.
well, that's the thing too, is having digital everything, because we're starting to, people
This
lose.
is just so, and as an FYI, this is what the survey cards look like right now. I have a physical copy in my office. We have digital information. They're not nicely together for some reason. I guess file sizes in 2010.
Hmm.
So just, and I don't think it isn't available on the website. So if that's something you guys.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
that's
thinking
a
of-
different project,
I'm
but it
thinking
would
of the
still
one-
be effort to pull.
I think it
everything
was
together.
done by Barbet Architects, maybe. I think I remember seeing their name on there, but you know, it's a nicely written report, and probably a lot of the content is still valid, doesn't need to be updated, but I feel like it should be accessible to everybody. I don't know where to find
I mean, so I think that this sounds to me like this is a great summer intern project.
It's possible. We try to give them
No,
stimulating
more
work.
stimulating work, this is too dull.
It's
it. This might could take more than 3 months.
there's that. I'm not saying that if they weren't interested, but we try to foster because we kind of lost our intern for a year, and planning gets one from environmental studies, so they're usually a little bit more in that
Yeah,
direction.
that makes sense.
And I want to give them stuff that's going to make them competitive in a job,
Right.
which I worry that
But yeah, not
compiling
just
file,
compiling
you know.
files is not.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess that's the question is, do we hire somebody, find somebody to do that, and then try to find a grant? To even start the conversation, seems like we need to apply to the selectmen to get permission to do that. So, I mean, I'm not against, the more information we have readily available online easily, the more people can say, I didn't know it's a historical district. I didn't know anything,
Well,
history, my thing.
Sounds like crap when you didn't, you're looking for crap points, so.
I would say, I think there is we have a lot going on in the planning department, but this is kind of just, it might just be compiling some documents together. If you guys were okay to give us a few months to wrap our heads around the amount of work involved with just making a clean digital version of this. I think that we could come back with more information on what it would cost for us to do it. Or if it's so big that we need to have someone else do it, just because it is much less of a scope than doing a new survey or extending the bounds of the historic district. And if you guys want to go tonight, make a motion or figure it out, that's possible, but I'm happy to discuss with Josh, because he likes doing some things like this sometimes. And it's possible that Irene will be retiring, so it's possible we would potentially have a little bit more capability to compile documents.
That is so nicely said. To put that old person out, to put that, I love Irene, I took care,
Irene
I
too
took care of
much.
her mother too.
Yeah.
So,
No.
but it is true, I mean, you get to, yeah. It's
I'm
like,
perfectly fine with. If it takes 2 or 3 months to get this, I do agree with Andy that it'd be really nice to be able to have this information. Readily available, so then we could, if somebody wanted to do a walking tour, it'd be easy to them to grab and get. From a digital format.
Yeah, I
And
would.
of course-
I'd like to check in with Josh because he kind of likes doing things like this. I think sometimes it's a nice little
Right
side project. So yeah,
okay,
But and then if you guys come back to us in a couple meetings and say the scope is just too big for us, we need this and that, then we can discuss. If we need a grant or if we need.
Yeah.
To hire a different company to do it, and what that is gonna take. Does that make sense?
Sense to me. Makes sense to you? Yeah. Alright.
And then there's a second part of
To
it.
discuss proposed recode Article 5 historic district.
It's there if you guys want it. I put it there because we had another workshop scheduled. I brought it up at our last meeting. I gave it out to you guys. I think it's only been updated to just, I think it generalized the reference to the survey to future-proof it. Which I can't actually remember if the attorney said was okay or not, but if you guys want to discuss any of that, the planning board did ask you to review it. So I put it here to give you an option, but I also didn't hear from you, any of you after last time, so I don't know if you have anything to discuss. It's there if you want it. I didn't hear from anyone though.
I did read through this, not recently, but, when I was reviewing this for the planning board. And I don't have any issues with it.
I do the same, I don't really see, I didn't compare exactly with the old thing, but when I read it, nothing jumped out at me as red flags or any reason where we should deal with it. I believe it pretty much says exactly what we already have. It does not seem to limit our ability to review or get rid of this board, so. I don't know what
Should not.
Yeah.
Great.
Alright.
So I'll look into some of the stuff on that letter a little bit more and in the next few minutes to discuss again.
Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah, recording.
You gotta, well, I guess you're done with the
Oh.
workshop. You don't have to adjourn. No. Yes, it's.